Welcome back. In sports news, Manchester City are English Premier League champions, clinching their second title in 3 years. Sky Blues defeated West Ham United 2-0 at the Etihad Stadium to hand Manuel Pellegrini his first European title as manager.
Involving Liverpool and Stephen.
The 2013-2014 English Premier League season has been the most unpredictable in recent years. The league leadership changed hands 25 times this season.
Will it change again on the final day?
On the final day, however, it boiled down to Manchester City and Liverpool battling for the title.
He's really got his game together in recent weeks.
Manchester City then getting us underway in what is an understandably fevered but slightly anxious atmosphere over the years.
Manuel Pellegrini's side knew just a point would give them the title.
Get possession of the ball, like in this sort of situation, they've got almost a small army of people in front of them to try and get through. You've got to keep believing. It might not be after an hour, things become much as you want to.
But they went all out for victory, dominating West Ham and sealing victory through Samir Nasri's excellent goal.
The opposition can be in.
Here's Nasri, long range and in, off the post. The goalkeeper got something on it, but that goal pushes Manchester City ever closer to regaining the crown.
And skipper Vincent Kompany's close-range strike.
Nasri dropping down, and the second goal, Vincent Kompany, the skipper, and surely now the title is heading the way of Manchester City.
You go to a City game or you watch them and think, no, they haven't turned up. They're brilliant, they really are.
That is it.
As referee Martin Atkinson sounded the final whistle and confirmation of the title, City's fans rushed onto the pitch in their thousands and celebrated.
As you can see,
a bit of style in Manchester this evening, yeah.
Yes, the normal regulations.
And for coach Pellegrini, it marked a triumphant conclusion to his first season in charge after he was brought in to replace sacked Roberto Mancini and entrusted with returning the title to the club.
For the second time in 3 years. Brilliant moment for the club at the end of what has been a spellbinding season of theatre in the Barclays Premier League.
Meanwhile, in other EPL games, Liverpool came from behind to defeat Newcastle 2-1 at Anfield, but were denied the title by Manchester City's victory over West Ham. Second half goals by Andre Schürrle and Fernando Torres saw Chelsea come back to win against relegated Cardiff. Norwich City's relegation from the Premier League was confirmed as they lost to Arsenal 2-0. Sunderland's superb end-of-season surge to safety ended in slightly disappointing fashion against Swansea. Tottenham beat Manchester United to a place in next season's Europa League after an easy 3-0 win over Aston Villa. Charlie Adams' late goal gave Stoke victory at West Brom as they completed their best league season since 1975. In tennis, Russia's Maria Sharapova recovered from a nervous start to beat Romanian fourth seed Simona Halep and win her first Madrid Open title. A former world number one battled back to win 1-6, 6-2, 6-3 and extend her unbeaten run on clay to 11 matches. Sharapova has only lost 3 times on clay since 2011, all 3 defeats coming against world number one Serena Williams. Staying on this foreign scene, but away from sports news, it appears pipeline vandalism is not peculiar to Nigeria alone. British police are investigating an attack on a pipeline belonging to Esso Refinery near a popular fishing village in Wiltshire, southwest England. Petrol thieves reportedly drilling into the underground pipeline, causing a leak of thousands of litres of fuel and sparking a major environmental alert. An estimated 1,500 litres of fuel have contaminated soil close to the River Kennet following the pipeline break, believed to be the first of its kind. and a ceasefire agreed on by South Sudan's warring leaders hangs in the balance after both sides reported a breach. A country's army says rebels attacked government positions earlier today in the town of Bentiu. But the rebels said their positions were targeted by ground attack and artillery in Unity and Upper Nile states. It was considered a breakthrough to peace in the world's youngest country. For the first time since the latest violence broke out in December last year, South Sudan's leaders eventually make it to the negotiating table for talks. On Friday, both President Salva Kiir and rebel commander Riek Machar signed a deal, having come under pressure from the international community, fearing a possible genocide in the country. A previous deal made in January collapsed in days, with each side accusing the other of breaching terms. At a meeting in the Ethiopian capital, Addis Ababa, the men agreed that a transitional government offered the best chance to take the country towards elections next year, though there was no immediate decision on who would be part of an interim administration. The truce was supposed to take effect within 24 hours, and both sides agreed to disengage their forces and refrain from any provocative actions and draft a new constitution and fresh elections.
Agree that a transitional government of national unity will offer the best chance for the people of South Sudan to take the country forward, and that such a government shall oversee government functions during a transitional period, implement critical reforms as negotiated through the peace process, oversee a permanent constitutional process, and guide the country to new election.
Everything seemed fine until it all changed a few hours into the ceasefire. The army and rebels have been accusing each other of the breach. However, there's been no independent verification of either side's claims. The recent violence began when President Salva Kiir accused Riek Machar of plotting a coup. Machar denied the allegation, but then marshaled a rebel army to fight the government. The battle assumed ethnic overtones, with Mr. Machar relying heavily on fighters from his Nuer ethnic group and Mr. Kiir from his Dinka community. The UN estimates that 1.5 million people have been displaced, with thousands more killed because of the violence. A so-called self-rule referendum has taken place in Donetsk and Luhansk, both in eastern Ukraine. Pro-Russian separatists in the region are continued their vote despite objections from Russia to have it postponed. Ukraine has condemned the vote as a criminal farce organized by Russia. Public buildings in the region have been threatened if they refuse to be used as polling stations. A second round of voting is planned in a week's time on joining Russia, and the organizers have promised to boycott Ukraine's presidential elections holding on May the 25th. The EU and the United States have also condemned the referendum. Now, one of the oldest dynasties in Yoruba land, Ijebu-Ode in Ogun State, southwest Nigeria, played host to friends and well-wishers to mark the 80th birthday anniversary of the Awujale of Ijebu land, Oba Sikiru Adetono. Having successfully spent 54 years on the throne, his 80th birthday clearly tells why distinguished personalities took time out to honor the Ijebu monarch.
You couldn't possibly get a better feel of excitement and cheers than the infectious and lavish show of warmth and love that characterized the Awujale of Ijebu land, Oba Sikiru Adetono's 80th birthday. The roll call was endless, including the Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Lamidi Adeyemi, Chief Biodun Shobanjo, the Minister of Agriculture Akinwumi Adeshino, and Otumba Bimbola Ashiru. The Governor of Ogun State, Ibikunle Amosun, was also present to propose the toast.
The first flyover in Ijebu is named after that illustrious son that has spent almost all his entire life serving his people of Ijebu. It has been not possible for Mr. President to come.
The president was ably represented by his chief of staff. And what a befitting birthday it turns out to be, with all the trappings of royal splendor, to felicitate with a well-respected and loved traditional ruler, the Awujale of Ijebu land, Oba Sikiru Adetono. Long live the king.
And the main news again. The president has again promised that Boko Haram would soon be overcome. President Goodluck Jonathan's such reassurance comes after Israel sent a team to join the search for the abducted Chibok girls. The All Progressives Congress has set aside its political differences towards finding a solution to the security challenge in the country. The opposition party declared that the battle against terror demands national solidarity. And the Ukrainian rebels have engaged in a self-rule referendum with pro-Russian sympathizers claiming a big turnout. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thanks for watching. I am Amarachi Ubani.